today's video, we'll be telling you guys how to build your credit score in the UK. We've talked so much about how to build your credit score. We've mentioned credit cards and things like that. And there've been a lot of questions on credit score. So today we are going to tell you guys all about it. So make sure you watch this video to the end so you get all the information. Remember that we bought a house in the UK within 2 years of our arrival, and we made an announcement on this channel. I've done a house tour. I've also talked about how we bought the house. I've announced it, and then we have also come here to tell you guys the step-by-step process on how to buy a house. We've also discussed how we saved, and there have been lots of questions coming in. So today we'll be talking about the credit score, everything you need to know about it, okay? So if you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Tochi and you are welcome to my channel. Please consider subscribing if you haven't, okay? And you won't regret it. And to my returning subscribers, you guys are wonderful. Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate it. So today I have my husband here, and together we'll be telling you guys how to build your credit score in the UK, okay? Everything you need to know. So let me just allow him to say hello to you guys.
Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. So we'll just be answering your questions and discussing everything about credit score, credit card, and things surrounding that. So just stick around and make sure you get a pen and paper. And again, if there are any questions you have from this video, drop it in the comment section and we'll answer it in our next Q&A video. Thank you so much.
All right, so thank you for being here. Let's just get right into the video. We've talked so much about building your credit score, getting your credit card, and we're talking about credit. So please just tell us what credit score is for those who don't know that will be watching this video. Let's just start from the beginning. So tell us what credit score is.
All right, before I answer a question, quick disclaimer: I'm not a financial analyst or financial expert or mortgage advisor or a banker or whatever. I'm just a normal person. So everything I'll be saying is purely things I've learned by maybe reading and researching and things like that. So please, if you need a financial advice, you can do well to seek a certified financial advisor or things like that. So now to the question that you asked, what is credit score? Well, credit score is just simply your financial reputation. In a nutshell, that is the way I see it. But let me explain further. I think it's a score that's assigned to you by credit rating agencies to show how good or bad you are with using credit, or how reliable you are in terms of credit. Credit is like loan, giving you something in debt, things like that. So I'll give you a screenshot of my credit score and you can put on the screen. So in the UK, there are 3 major credit rating agencies. You have Experian, you have TransUnion, and you have Equifax. Now, any other person that gives you a credit score is going to derive that number from either of these 3 credit rating agencies. Okay, so but Experian is the most popular one that most people know about, and their rating is over 999. The other ones have their rating. So you need to check which particular agency is rating you and find out what your number is, over their overall score. Most times your score will fall in between, let's say, poor, very poor, average, fair, and maybe excellent, something like that. When you come into the UK, for instance, you would have no trace with these agencies at all. They wouldn't know who you are. They wouldn't know you exist.
Obviously.
Okay, but as you begin to transact and do things, your record will begin to get picked up by these agencies, and they'll create a file for you, a virtual file, not like there's assign you score based on your financial activities and how you use credit. There are ways to make them pick you up as soon as possible. So we'll go into all that in detail, but in a nutshell, this is just what credit score means. It's just like your financial reputation. There's a number assigned to you that sort of tells lenders how good or bad you are with credit.
Tell us why it's important. Why is it actually important?
Credit score is very important, all right, especially in the West, coming from Nigeria, for instance, like in the UK or US or whatever, because it's a lot of things you do here, a lot of things you assess can be assessed through credit. Let me give you an example. Like when I first moved into our first rented house, when I came in here, I was denied broadband by a particular company because I had no credit record at all. So it's almost as if when you want to rent a house, when you want to get a broadband contract, when you want to buy a phone on credit, and ultimately when you want to buy a house, they will look into your credit history and your credit score. And if you have a very bad credit history and credit score, two things will happen. Either they deny you outrightly. We've had some denials. We were denied our first mortgage application. All right,
we'll share that later.
Yeah, we'll share that later in this video. And we were denied 2 other credit, I think, and because they feel like we've not had a long time in the UK. Okay, so if you have a bad credit score, you can be denied things, or if they give you nothing on credit, they give you a very high interest rate. So let me explain. Like if Mr. A has a very good credit score and applies for mortgage or a loan or buy something on credit, he can get like the best interest rates that those lenders are offering. Okay. But if Mr. B comes to apply and has a bad credit score, all right, or not too good credit score, he will not get the best interest rate. And if your credit score is very bad, you will get like the highest interest rate on what you are borrowing. So if I borrow the money on, let's say 5%, because I have good interest rate, Mr. B with a bad interest rate will probably get it at 15% or 12%. So you see that it's important because it saves you money in the long run. All right, it saves you money and it makes you less attractive to lenders. So you cannot get a good mortgage, all right, if you have a bad credit score. So just to answer some of the questions we've been seeing, some have been asking us, oh, so how much are we paying back a month for our house and things like that. Now the issue is, even if I tell you the figure, it's just going to be for informational purpose, but it's not really going to impact what you get, because the interest rate we got for our mortgage is going to be different from what you get for various reasons. It's important that you focus on trying to get a good credit score, because that would have an effect on how much interest rate you get when you speak to lenders for either mortgage or car finance, or you want to buy a phone, or you want to floor your house or buy something big like sofa on credit. All right, so these are the things you need to bear in mind. That's what makes credit score an important thing, especially in a country like the UK. Yeah,
so just to add to what he said, I remember that when we wanted to floor our house, we talked to this particular company, and we wanted to do that on credit, but we were denied. Yeah, I think the reason was because we have not stayed for so long in the UK, and thereby we didn't meet their requirements, so we were denied. So we had to pay cash for it. So even though we had the money, we wanted to finance it because it's way easier. So this is one of the reasons why building your credit score is very important. These are more. So it could be a phone, it could be just any products you want to buy. You need a good credit score to appeal to lenders. So moving on now, in the video about how to buy a house, so we talked about the step-by-step process of how to buy a house in the UK. You mentioned getting a credit card, right? So what's the relationship between credit score and credit card?
All right. So the thing is, there's always an argument on whether you need a credit card to build your credit score. Some people think you don't need it, and in a way they are not completely wrong, and some people always advocate you need it. Now let me explain, because I said I got a credit card as soon as I came into the UK, and I've seen people ask me online, how possible is that? How possible is that? Now let me just explain the point. When I came into the UK, I lived in a house where my rent was all bills inclusive, and I was paying my rent by just transferring the money to my landlord's account. So that kind of recurrent payment would have no impact on your credit score. So I needed to have things that were written in my name as credit. And so while I lived in that place, the easiest way to start that was a credit card. Now, bear in mind, if you pay things like phone bills, you have like a phone contract with any of the companies, or you have like a broadband contract or energy contract, okay, it counts towards your credit score, okay? But just paying your house rent alone does not necessarily count towards building your credit score, because you could be paying to a private landlord like I was doing. So there was no report of my financial transaction, being passed to those credit rating agencies. So I had to go for a credit card. So why a credit card is good is because it's one of the easiest way to put your data and information out there to begin to give you track record to build a credit score. All right, so a credit card, I would say, is important, especially for people like students who live in accommodations that are all bills inclusive and in campuses. A credit card is one of the fastest way to sort of like put your name out there in terms of building your credit score. And even if you live in a house where you pay like water bill, council tax, broadband, energy bill and all that, a credit card is also going to be a plus for you. And aside the fact that it gives you money to spend when you don't have and you pay back later. But here's the thing, you have to be very careful with credit card. You have to be very, very, very disciplined with using credit card. I, for instance, have not paid £1 on interest in any of my credit cards, and I have 2 of them. And I've used them for about 2 years now, and I've never had to pay interest one day on my credit card. And that's simply because anything I spend this month, I pay it off 100% before by the following month. So I don't let my credit card debt go over beyond 1 month. So by doing so, I don't get to pay interest. But you might not have the financial discipline I have to do that. So you have to trade carefully.
So guys, we have a special guest, okay? He just woke up, so he had to join the video. Okay, so just pardon, okay, if he makes any sound, just pardon us, okay?
So with credit cards, don't spend it like it's free money, because it's actually if you spend it, you have to go to pay it back. So in a way, it is still your money you're spending. It's not free money, okay? So what I would advise is, if you get a credit card, don't spend more than 25% of your credit limit every month. Let me explain. If you have a credit card that is that has a £1,000 limit on it, all right, don't spend more than £250 on that credit every month. And to avoid incurring interest, pay it off the following month. By so doing, you are using it reasonably and you're not incurring interest. So if you do that, it's going to help your credit score over time. Anything you do towards improving your credit score takes about 3 to 6 months to reflect on your credit record. So don't expect to get a credit card today and your credit score will just shoot up. No, you need about 3 to 6 months for anything you do, all right, to improve on your credit score. So credit card is one of the easiest ways to build your credit score. If you cannot get a credit card, you can also get like all these Argos or Chorus PC. Some of these retailers do have their own form of credit card. You can also get that and use that. It's going to help improve your credit score. So I think that's a little kind of overview as regarding credit card and credit score and things like that.
Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, what do I buy with my credit card? Because it can be very tempting. So what would you advise that I do with my credit card?
Okay, so I'm going to use my personal experience here to give this example. So what I use my credit card for is like my regular expenses, like when I go to Aldi to shop, or when we go to buy fuel for the car, or just my regular expenses, I pay with my credit card. However, I just make sure I watch how much I'm spending so it doesn't go above the limit. Like I said, the 25% of what is on my credit card. There's a reason why you shouldn't go above that 25%, is that if you go above it consistently, it will appear to these credit rating agencies as if you're so much reliant on credit, all right? And it's not a good sign. You don't have to appear, to be too reliant on credit and on debt. As much as they want you to have some debt to show you're reliable credit-wise, you don't also want to be too dependent on credit. That will raise a red flag, because they will think once you have a lot of debt, you might just, default in repaying your debt. So use it carefully, use it as only when necessary, and just keep it within, a certain limit. And another thing I want to add is, when you apply for a credit card for the first time, okay, and you are denied, avoid applying for another one within 3 months. If you make too many frequent applications for credit card, it's going to hurt your credit score. Okay, so when you very important, when you apply for a credit card once, if they say no, hold off for another 3 months. If you quickly go and apply for another one and they say no, then it's going to hurt your credit score and you need time to regain what you've lost. So be careful with that as well. Don't apply for so many credit cards at the same time. And again, there are companies that offer high interest credit card for people with bad credit record. All right, if you're disciplined enough, I would say go for those credit cards. They can be as high as 35% interest, but you can avoid paying that interest. Like I've explained, make sure you pay it off the next month. If you use it in January, make sure in February you clear off that money so that it doesn't start counting interest, because after February an interest starts reading on anything you've spent in the month of January on your credit score or on your credit card, sorry. So please make sure you pay it off the following month and you will be on the safe side.
Okay, thank you. So do you need to pay your bills, your regular bills with your credit card?
Yes, you can. For instance, my Amazon subscription, my printer subscription, a few subscriptions I have are on my credit card. So you can actually put some regular recurrent expenditure subscriptions on your credit card. All right, and the provider of the service will debit the money from your credit card. So you can do that. I bought things on credit card and I spread them over 3-4 months and it was debited from my credit card. So it's very, very, very possible to do that as well.
Okay, so it's not just your day-to-day spendings, your groceries, you can also put your bills in your credit card. Yeah,
but I would say don't put the important or too much bills on it. Let some go to your bank account so you have direct debits leaving your bank account.
Okay, so aside credit card, what other things do you need to do to build your credit score?
Like I said in the beginning, there's an argument for whether you need a credit card to build a credit score. So aside credit card, there are other things you can do to improve your credit score. One of the first things I also did, which I didn't mention before in those other videos, when I came into the UK, as soon as I got my national insurance number, which was behind my BRP, I immediately applied to be on the electoral roll. All right. So whenever if you come into the UK and you have your national insurance number and you have an address, immediately apply to be on the electoral roll. Okay, that's very important. It helps sort of like give an identity to you and also assign you to a particular address. And also when you move to a new house, go back to the electoral roll and update your record and put your new address. All right, and let your name be on the new address you have, because the electoral roll is tied to your address. Okay, it's very important. In fact, when you want to get your credit score, it's going to be tied to your address. All right, so when you get on the electoral roll and you want to move to another house, go back to the electoral roll and update your details again, and they'll send you another letter confirming that you have moved to a new house and that you've been registered on the electoral roll. Okay, that is very important.
Yeah, that's very important. I mentioned that on one of my videos on things you should do immediately you move into the UK.
Yeah.
Right, so you can go and see that video. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. Okay,
so after getting the electoral roll, another important thing you need to do is get some bills to be on your direct debits from your bank account. So how it works is that when you buy a service, like let's say your phone broadband or house insurance or your water bill or your council tax, ask them to set up a direct debit. Okay. So a direct debit is you authorizing the service provider to withdraw money from your account once every month for the service he or she is providing for you. So let me give an example. Like when I do my car insurance and they say it costs, let's say, £1,000 a year. Instead of paying at once, I will tell the insurance company to set up a direct debit and take £1,000 a month from my bank account on a particular day. So I don't have to do the transfer. They take it automatically. It's a very common thing here. So our advice is to have direct debits leaving your account. And that sort of helps your credit score. And also get a phone contract, or at least a SIM only contract. Okay, don't just use a pay as you go phone. Okay. I mean, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but for me, I feel like when you want to target getting a mortgage in the UK as soon as possible, you have to, do all these things so that your record ties together and makes it easier for you. Because we've been getting lots of questions, emails, contacts. How possible is that? How did you do it? Some people are even saying that we make it look a lot very easy. But the truth is that we put in a lot of work from the first day we came into this country. And those are the things we are sharing with you guys at this time, all right? So get direct debits on your account. I have a lot of direct debit that I've even lost count, okay? So money just leaves my account every now and then. I'm used to it already. Anyway, so make sure you get a couple direct debits on your bank account, okay? That will help you build your credit score. And like I said, try to get something like SIM only contract, or possibly get a phone. Like my own phone, I had the money to pay once for the phone, but I just told my phone company, just give me on credit, all right, and take, I think it's £40 every month they take from me for my phone. So it's up to you. It depends on what you want. You can pay off for your phone. Maybe you want to get an iPhone, or the latest iPhone, or the latest Samsung phone. You get it on credit from one of the phone companies, and ask them to set up a direct debit and debit you every month for that phone. That helps also to build your credit score. Again, I know as Nigerians, most times we kind of have this thing about debt. We don't like debt, which is understandable. I don't like debt. But the truth is that in the West, debt is almost like the way of life. Most things people buy, they buy it on credit. Partly because it could be too expensive. Secondly, because the facility is there, why not use it, okay? So don't be averse to debt, actually, when you come into the UK. Rather, find how to discipline yourself, not to take up too much debt that is going to hurt you in the long run. Do it wisely and considerably. Take up reasonable debt for reasonable things. Don't just go and borrow money to go skydiving, or borrow money. I'm not against, vacation or anything, but borrow money for what is important, and make sure you borrow within your financial capability.
So basically, just be wise about it. Borrow wisely and be disciplined.
Yeah.
Because this thing can be very tempting, because the resources are there, everything is there, so you just have to be disciplined. Else, you just see yourself that you're in debt for unnecessary reasons.
Yeah, like as soon as I sort of got a mortgage, I noticed I got so much, companies offering me loan, all right, telling me you can borrow £10,000 and pay over 6 years, and I'm like, thank you, but I don't think I need that money yet. So you have to be very careful, because these lenders can come tempting when you begin to have a good credit record. So you have to be very, very careful. Another thing you can also do to improve your credit score is to avoid closing your accounts frequently. How I mean is, each time you open a credit account, like a credit card or something, if you close it, it's kind of like affects your credit score negatively a little bit. So be careful with closing credit accounts every now and then. Just make sure you do it wisely, and don't open too much at the same time. Just make sure you space these things over 2 to 3 months and keep it reasonable.
So I've seen lots of questions about, did I also build my credit score? Like, was it only you that built yours to get the mortgage? So what do you have to say about partners who want to get a mortgage? Is it the two of them that have to build their credit score, or is one person's own enough? Okay,
so I think it has to be the both of you, because when we applied for mortgage, our first mortgage that were denied, her name appeared on my record. I was told by Experian and Total Money that I applied for a mortgage together with my wife. Her name was there. So they were asking me if I know about this transaction, about this application. So yes, both of you need to work on your credit score, because one person's own can affect the next person. So you both have to sort of like put things in place. Sometimes you can share the bills. Like if she pays for water bill, I pay for energy bill. That's in our different bank accounts. Just have direct debits on your both accounts. You can both have your credit card and things like that, because your both names will appear on the application, all right? So I think it's important that both of you are conscious about your credit score.
So having said that, you mentioned in the beginning of the video that our first mortgage application was denied.
Yeah.
So why do you think that happened?
Okay, so I think the first mortgage application we put in, we got an agreement in principle, but when it was time to get a formal mortgage offer, the bank denied us the mortgage. And I think it's because of our credit history. Not necessarily our credit score now, but our credit history. So they said that we did not meet the residential requirement to be given this mortgage. At the time, all right, we were less than 2 years in the UK. And also, of course, we are migrants, we are still on a visa. So they felt we've not spent enough time in the UK for them to give us a mortgage. So, like I said, yes, some people argue that you have to spend up to 3 years in a particular place to begin to have a decent credit score. But like you've seen in the screen, I think I have a fairly decent credit score, as well as she does.
So the earlier you start, the better.
Yeah, so the earlier you start, the better. You don't need 3 years to build a good credit score. But some banks, because they are going to scrutinize you, they want you to have lived in the UK for more than 2 or 3 years. All right, please forgive our son. He's our guest today. Okay. As much as you need a long time to build your credit score, I also think this is why it's important to engage a mortgage advisor when you're going for a mortgage, because when the first bank pulled out, our advisor went back and got us another agreement in principle with another bank, which eventually gave us the mortgage. All right, so it's important that you know that the amount of time you spent in the country would also sort of impact these things. You could have a few denials here and there. We had our own as well, but that should not deter you. If you keep searching, you're going to find a lender that is willing to give you mortgage, even if you're less than 2 years, as we were at the time. Because even though we keep saying we bought the house in 2 years, we actually bought this house within a year plus.
Yeah.
Okay, but we just said 2 years, but actually it's less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Just
if you've watched our video on how we saved, you would, you understand what we're saying.
So it's less than 2 years. So what we're here to do is just to tell you it's possible, encourage you, and show you how we did it. You can learn 1 or 2 things from us and go about your own journey. And so finally, I'll just say I might not have touched on everything that has to do with building a credit score, a good credit score in the UK. If you have some other points to contribute, you can just drop them constructively in the comment section, and we'll appreciate that.
And also, if you have a question, maybe something you didn't touch and you have a question, just drop it in the comment section. We will answer it during our Q&A video. Okay, so just leave your comments, leave your questions. We're seeing them and we'll definitely answer them. So guys, that's basically it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. You feel free to share this video so everyone can benefit from it as well. Follow me on social media. All my handles are in the description box. If you have any question, any comment, just leave it in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.